It started like any other quiet morning on my ranch. The sun rising over the pastures, the horses grazing peacefully, and the smell of coffee drifting through the open window. I built this ranch from the ground up after retiring from the military. It was supposed to be my place of peace. No drama, no noise, no one telling me what to do. But of course, peace doesn't last long when you live near an HOA. When I bought my land, the HOA's property line ended about a quarter mile before my ranch gate. It was clearly marked with fencing, signage, and even a stone boundary marker placed by the county years ago. But that didn't stop people from the nearby Willow Creek subdivision from thinking they could use my private dirt road as a shortcut to the main highway. At first it was harmless. A few joggers cutting through, maybe a golf cart or two. But then came the SUVs, delivery trucks, and eventually one woman who decided the world revolved around her. The self-proclaimed queen of the HOA. Her name was Karen. The first time I met her, she was driving a shiny white Lexus SUV that looked like it hadn't seen a dirt road in its life. She stopped right at my ranch gate, honked twice, and waved like she was greeting a friend. I walked up to her truck, expecting maybe she was lost or looking for directions. Instead, she rolled down her window and said, "Hi there. I'm just going to cut through your ranch." The HOA board approved it as a community access road. I blinked. Community access? Ma'am, this is private land. That gate marks the start of my property. She smiled like she was talking to a child. "Oh, I know, but we've been using this road for years." The previous owner didn't mind. "Well," I said, "the previous owner isn't here anymore. I bought it, and it's not for public use." She frowned. "You can't just block a community road. That's against HOA rules." That's when I laughed. "Ma'am, your HOA doesn't own this road, and your rules stop long before my gate." She huffed, revved her engine, and drove off muttering something about entitled landowners. I thought that would be the end of it. I put up new signs that said private property, no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted. But sure enough, 2 days later, I found my gate wide open and fresh tire tracks cutting through the ranch road. I checked the security footage from my gate camera, and there she was, Karen in her white Lexus, waving at the camera like she was starring in her own TV show. I drove into town that afternoon and reported the trespass to the sheriff's office. The deputy was sympathetic but said unless there was property damage, it'd be treated as a civil matter. I wasn't too thrilled with that answer, but I wasn't about to let her win. The next morning, I installed a heavy-duty steel gate, reinforced and secured with an electronic lock. I even added a recording in progress sign just to make it extra clear. 2 days later, the new gate was bent. The lock was smashed clean off. And guess whose license plate showed up on the footage again? That same white Lexus. I called the sheriff's office again, and this time they sent an officer out. He looked at the footage, shook his head and said, "Yeah, that's deliberate damage. We'll file a report a week past." No word. Then one afternoon, I heard the rumble of an engine again. I walked outside, and there she was, this time driving through my half-broken gate like she owned the road. I flagged her down as she slowed near the stables. "You need to turn around right now, ma'am," I said firmly. She leaned out her window and sneered, "You can't stop me." "The HOA has an easement here." I folded my arms. "Show me the paperwork." She smirked. "I don't need to show you anything." Then she hit the gas, spraying gravel all over my boots as she sped off toward the back of my property. That was it. I was done playing nice. I went back to my workshop and started sketching an idea, a legal, nonviolent, foolproof way to stop her for good. I built a gate trap. Not dangerous, just clever. Using 2 heavy steel posts, I built a secondary barrier just behind my main gate. The trick? It was disguised. From the outside, it looked like the same dirt road continued. But under a layer of loose gravel, I placed a deep trench with reinforced boards that could be removed when needed. When I set it up, the boards were gone, leaving a 3-foot drop just behind the surface. Then I waited. It didn't take long. 3 days later, my cameras caught her Lexus pulling up again. She paused, saw the first gate open, which I left slightly ajar on purpose, and smirked to herself. She drove right through. Then about 5 seconds later, I heard the crunch. The front tires dropped into the trench, the back wheels lifted, and the whole SUV tilted forward like a toy. Steam hissed from the radiator as the engine died. I walked down calmly, camera rolling. She was standing outside her car, red-faced.